My friends, tonight I want to talk plainly. There is much noise in the land. Many are afraid, and many are tired. You have heard the stories. Crowded courts, judges raising alarms, families waiting with hope and worry in their hearts. Some speak of law and order. Others call for compassion and fairness. It feels as though the whole country sits at a crossroad, uncertain what to believe. History has seen moments like this before. Moments when fear ran ahead of wisdom. When order seemed to fight with mercy, and both sides looked for the ground where justice lives. But I come to you not to fan worry, or to add to the clamor of blame. We do not feed outrage, we restore perspective. Let us together seek calm and clarity. Picture a courthouse in a small town just before sunrise. The windows are dark except for one office. Inside, a judge rubs tired eyes, faced with a long list of cases that grows by the hour. Stacks of papers rise like little walls on her desk. Each file holds the story of a person waiting somewhere behind a locked door. Across the land, Georgia, Minnesota, New York, judges tell us they are overwhelmed. A flood of paperwork, all demanding the same basic thing, a chance to be heard. These are habeas corpus petitions, a phrase that means, very simply, show me the reason I am held. People who have come to our shores, some with families, some alone, now sit in detention with no bond, no hearing, no clear hope for release. It did not always work this way. Not long ago, judges had the power to grant a hearing, to weigh if a person should go free while their case was heard. Today, new rules say no. People are held in large numbers, and the courts struggle to keep up. The leaders at the Department of Homeland Security and the Department of Justice defend this policy. They say it is necessary, that their burden is light, and that some judges are making it harder to follow the law. Higher courts have agreed. Some say the government can do this. Yet in other courts, different judges push back, ordering new hearings, trying to slow the tide, worried about the weight on the system. This, my friends, is not just a problem of process. It is a test of our values. Imagine a mother in a plain waiting room, the walls painted a tired shade of gray. She clutches her bag, eyes fixed on a phone, waiting for word from inside a detention center. The clock glows red numbers, marking every slow minute. Think of the judge, appointed by presidents of both parties, sitting alone in chambers at night, pondering the next case on a long list. She is not hunting for a way to show mercy or to ignore the law. She is hunting for fairness. Not all news is black and white. Some voices call certain judges activist, others call government leaders too hard, but I say these are the arguments of a free country. Disagreement, though noisy, means our system is alive. Picture a line of immigrants in winter coats outside a courthouse in Minnesota, their breath in the cold, children shifting restlessly. They have crossed far, hoping to stand on fair ground. Let us step back from anger and instead ask, what is at stake here? The old promise of our republic is that no one should be locked away without a reason, not even for a single day. From the days of the Magna Carta to the hearts of our founders, this idea shines bright. A person, any person, ought to be heard before liberty is taken. There are times when the burden on our courts is heavy, times when judges grumble and paperwork swamps the bench. But it is in these moments, more than any, that the measure of a just nation is taken. Picture a long hallway in a federal court building at dusk, empty except for the soft echo of shoes. A single clerk carries another stack of files, reading petition numbers aloud in a weary voice. We may wish for easy answers, for courts that move fast, for rules that keep order without delay, but such wishes must always be measured against fairness and due process. Law gives power to government, yes, but it also puts limits, shaped by our deepest ideals. And when those limits seem hard, or slow, or uncertain, it is up to us to hold steady, not to lose faith. Think of an old man, hands folded, watching the news in his living room as the screen flashes with two sides arguing. He remembers other times when the country was divided, but believes still in the common sense of the American people. Now I know some worry that our borders are open, that law will be lost in the shuffle, that criminals will walk free if we bend. Others worry about kindness lost, children separated, families trapped in fear. Each fear is real and must be faced with equal respect. America's strength is her unity. Ours is not the path of extremes, but the patient, careful walk of a people who believe in both safety and justice. Not all who wait in detention are without blame, but some are caught in rules too wide and too hard for their case. And not every judge who asks for a bond hearing is trying to undo the law. Many are trying to fulfill it, to see that no one slips through the cracks of mercy. Picture a heavy wooden courtroom bench, empty save for an American flag lit by daylight through high windows. This is the seat of American justice, sometimes slow, sometimes burdened, yet always guided by law and by heart. Let us hold to that truth as we continue. The question before us is simple but not easy. How do we keep our courts and ourselves from losing sight of fairness when times grow tense? History has seen this before. I have lived through days when fear came first and fairness fell behind. Across our cities, in moments of crisis, economic downturns, times of war, some voices have told us it is all right to rush, to cut corners, to trust only in force and not in justice. Yet always, in the end, the Republic is made strong not by fear, but by our steady hold on principle. I ask you tonight to look beyond the shouts and the headlines. Think of your own community. Picture an early morning as neighbors gather outside a city courthouse, jackets pulled against the chill, everyone waiting to see what the day will bring. There's a quiet kind of dignity there, a belief that in the end, everyone gets their turn to be heard. Now let us remember why this is so important. Our country was founded on the promise that no power, no office, no government stands higher than the law. When someone is held, whether for a day, a month, or a year, they are not a number or a burden, but a person who deserves an answer. We can choose order, yes, but let it be order with a heart. We ask our judges to weigh two great needs, keeping the country safe and keeping it fair. Neither is easy. Both take wisdom and a kind of courage that does not shout, but simply does the work, day after day. Pause and picture a father lifting his young child outside the worn gates of a detention center, trying to offer comfort even as hope seems thin. Or think of a legal aid worker late at night, the glow of a lamp on stacks of paper, quietly making sure every petition has a name, a date, a story. Not all news is black and white. You might hear that some courts have said, no bond hearings, no more. Others insist, every person gets a chance. It makes for headlines and hard debate. But at its root, the question is old. Shall we trade fairness for speed, mercy for control? Such choices echo all through our country's history. America's strength is her unity. This does not mean we always agree. It means when times are hardest, when the system creaks and people worry, we hold together by holding tight to the rules and the values we all claim. Imagine a jury room filled with ordinary citizens, a nurse, a teacher, a truck driver, each called to listen, to judge, to take part in something larger than themselves. They do not rush. They do not play favorites. They do their duty in silence, shaping justice with steady hands. Ours is a country where disagreement is not a sign of doom, but of life. Strong courts, strong laws. Still, above all, a sense that the weak will not be forgotten. Now, some will say, this takes too long. Some will warn that if every person is given a hearing, the system will slow, criminals will walk free, order will crumble. Others say, be softer, be kinder, trust that the law does not lose strength if it has a heart. This is not the first time we have faced such a debate. During the dark days of the Depression and in the war that followed, many voices called for easier answers. Many times we were tempted to give up on the slow, careful work of justice for the promise of quick relief. But we learned, again and again, that a strong nation is one that does not lose its way under pressure. Picture the tall dome of a state capitol shining under nightlights. Inside, lawmakers argue, their voices carrying down empty halls, while outside, a janitor sweeps the floor, keeping the place clean for all. It is the quiet acts, done without fuss, that keep a nation honest. So, what should we do now? First, let us remember, the courts are not our enemy. A judge who asks whether a person should be held is not undermining safety, but seeking truth. An official who worries about the pace, the crush of cases, is not weak but concerned for the system we all share. Second, let us support those who serve. Think of the clerks, the marshals, the lawyers, men and women who carry stacks of papers, who wake up early and go home late, not to become famous, but to do a necessary duty. Let us respect their care and trust the process, even when it is slow. Third, let us speak with one another, not with shouts, but with questions. Ask, what would I want if it were my family waiting behind those bars? Ask, what kind of country am I building, not only for today, but for tomorrow's children? Imagine a teacher's desk after school, a history book open to the Bill of Rights, students sitting in a half-circle listening as their teacher explains why due process matters, not just in courts, but in every part of life. We must hold up the example of those who wait, who listen, who do not rush to blame the other side. Let us take comfort in knowing that our debates, noisy as they are, mean we are still a free people. Not all who lead us will get it right. Not every law will be fair in every case. But the work of citizenship, the work of the Republic, is to watch, to listen, to demand the best from our government and from ourselves. If we want a country where justice is not just a word but a lived promise, we must take part in its care. That means, at times, pushing for reform when cracks appear. It means writing letters, voting with care, teaching children what we have learned, sometimes the hard way, that the cost of fairness is patience and the reward is dignity for all. Picture twilight in a quiet neighborhood. Lights shine in the windows, families gather at dinner tables, the news plays in the background, and parents try to explain what is happening in the world. Every decision we make together becomes part of the story they will tell in the years ahead. Let us not be the generation that rushed so fast, that feared so much, that we lost the slow wisdom that built a nation worth loving. Our courts will go on, sometimes crowded, sometimes delayed. But if we stand with them for fairness, even when it is hard, the Republic can be saved. Let us end where we began, with hope as our lamp. Not all news is black and white. But if our hearts are steady and our minds are clear, we will guide this nation to higher ground. We can have laws that protect us and laws that respect us, both at once, so long as we do not give up on either. Tonight I invite you to picture a sunrise on Main Street, shopkeepers raising the flag, children waiting for the yellow school bus, and a new day when each person's rights are honored. The promise of America lives in every courtroom where fairness is tried, in every family waiting for justice, in every citizen who refuses to let go of principle. So let us walk together, not in fear or anger, but in hope and in purpose, trusting that the slow steps of justice will lead us on. Before I say goodnight, let me ask, when your children or grandchildren one day ask what you did when fairness was at stake, what story will you be able to tell? Thank you, my friends. Sleep well, and remember, the Republic can be saved.